Today, I want to share 4 powerful stories that illustrate how our thoughts can shape our reality and why maintaining a positive outlook is crucial. These stories teach us invaluable lessons about faith, belief, and the power of the human mind. Story 1: The Lawsuit and Unwavering Faith. Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there was a woman named Sarah who found herself facing an enormous predicament. The looming threat of a $3,000 lawsuit on the 15th of the month cast a dark shadow over her life. She felt the weight of the impending legal battle pressing down on her, and it was nothing short of stressful. Desperate for a way out, Sarah turned to a trusted friend who possessed a rather intriguing perspective. Her friend's words carried a spark of hope, suggesting that whether you believe in God or the universe, both are akin to your personal supply store. Every problem, they claimed, has a solution, and all you need is unwavering belief. Determined to put this theory to the test, Sarah decided to embark on a daring journey. On the fateful 15th, as the deadline for payment drew near, she found herself lacking the necessary funds. Anxiety gnawed at her, but she clung to her friend's wisdom. In an act that might seem peculiar to some, she ventured into an upscale restaurant and ordered a lavish meal, carrying herself as though she were flush with money. It might sound unconventional, but it was as if she were echoing a timeless lesson from the Bible: believe in what you ask for, and you'll get it. Then, the unexpected unfolded. That evening, Sarah received a call from her brother, John, who lived in a distant city. He was unaware of her financial woes but wanted to catch up. As they spoke, Sarah mentioned her situation in passing, not expecting anything. John, touched by his sister's predicament, decided to visit her the next day. To her surprise, he handed her a sum of $3,000, exactly what she needed. The catch was that he had brought the money with him, and she could use it immediately to settle her debts. In that moment of uncertainty, Sarah made a courageous choice. She placed her trust in the universe, believing that everything would eventually fall into place. And with the timely assistance from her brother, she had the means to settle her debts and emerged from the darkness into the light. This tale imparts a simple yet profound lesson: your beliefs and actions possess the power to shape your destiny. So, dare to believe in the goodness of life, and who knows what extraordinary miracles may come your way in return, sometimes even through the unexpected kindness of family. Story 2: The Apartment and Unwavering Belief. Once upon a time in bustling New York City, there was a woman named Emily who faced a big problem. Finding an apartment in the city was really tough, and everyone felt sorry for her. They suggested she put her furniture in storage and stay in a hotel. But Emily had a different way of thinking. She believed she could overcome any challenge. She told herself, "I trust that the universe will help me find the right apartment." She knew that for every problem, there's a solution, and she wasn't stuck by her circumstances. She believed that her connection to the spiritual world made her strong. At one point, she thought about buying new blankets for the apartment she hoped to find. But her doubtful thoughts said, "Don't do it, you might not get the apartment." Emily replied firmly, "I'll get ready for the apartment by buying those blankets." She acted as if she already had the place. In a surprising twist, she not only found an apartment but also got it, even though there were more than 200 other people trying to get it. Those blankets were a symbol of her strong belief. This story reminds us that staying positive isn't always easy. Doubts and fears can fill our minds with negative thoughts. You might have heard the saying, "It's darkest before the dawn," which means things can seem really tough just before they get better. But here's the important part: when you say something powerful and true, you challenge old beliefs in your mind. You discover the mistakes that have been holding you back. This is the moment when you need to repeat positive statements and be grateful as if you've already received what you want. It's a bit like the saying, "You'll receive what you want before you even ask for it." This means that everything good you desire is already out there, just waiting for you to recognize it. Story 3: The Business Loan and Unwavering Confidence. Once upon a time, in a world filled with business and deadlines, there was a man who had a big goal. He needed to get $50,000 for his business really quickly. The clock was ticking, and he was feeling really down. Nobody wanted to invest in his business, and the bank said no to a loan. Feeling desperate, he decided to seek advice from a wise woman known for performing miracles. She listened to his story and gave him some amazing advice, before you can change any situation, you have to start by controlling yourself. She went on, go back to the bank, and I'll work on it from a spiritual angle. Her approach was simple but strong. You're connected to the people at the bank through love. Let a divine solution come from this challenge. The man wasn't too sure about all this. He said, it sounds great, but in the real world, it's different. Tomorrow is Saturday, the bank closes at noon, and I won't get there until 10. Plus, the deadline is tomorrow, and they won't change their minds. But the wise woman was really confident. She said, God doesn't follow our human rules like time. He's never late, and with him, anything is possible. I might not understand business, but I understand God. A week later, the man sent her a letter filled with amazement and insight. He wrote, you were right. I got the money, and I'll never doubt your words again. Curious to hear the whole story, she met with him a few weeks later. With a smile, she asked, so, what happened? It seems you had more time than you thought. He laughed and said, my train was late, and I got to the bank with just 15 minutes to spare. I walked in calmly and said, I'm here for the loan, and to my surprise, they gave it to me without asking any questions. In this story about faith, time, and divine help, it's clear that when you align your spirit with the universe, even the toughest deadlines can be met easily. Story 4, The Lucky Monkeys and Divine Influence. Once upon a time, in a classroom not much different from yours or mine, there were two students who had achieved great success in their businesses. They were riding high on their achievements. But then, something unexpected happened, their businesses started falling apart. It was like their good luck had suddenly vanished. Confused and disheartened, they got together to figure out what went wrong. After some reflection, they realized that they had both relied on something unusual for their success, lucky monkey figurines. These small statues had become their good luck charms, and they had put their faith in these objects instead of in a higher power. One wise person in their group recognized the problem. She said, you've been depending on those lucky monkeys instead of trusting in God. It's time to put them away and seek forgiveness. She knew that humans have the power to acknowledge their mistakes and make things right. So, the two men decided to get rid of their lucky monkeys by tossing them into a coal hole. As they did that, something amazing happened, their businesses started thriving again. The lesson here isn't to discard all lucky symbols but to remember that the real power comes from a higher force. These symbols can remind us of our faith and hope. In another part of the world, there was a woman who was feeling really down. Life had been tough on her, and she was losing hope. Then, during a simple walk, she found a horseshoe on the ground. In that moment, something remarkable happened. She felt a rush of joy and hope. She believed that God had sent her this horseshoe as a sign to lift her spirits. It became a symbol of courage and optimism for her. This woman understood that the horseshoe itself didn't have any magical powers, it was a symbol of divine help. In her case, the horseshoe represented a connection to the one true power, God. It was different from the two men and their lucky monkeys, as she saw the spiritual meaning behind the symbol. Thinking about all this, it's clear that what we believe can shape our experiences. If we believe certain things will bring disappointment, they often will. But if we change our perspective and affirm the presence of one power, God, in our lives, even disappointments can turn into pleasant surprises. Courage, it seems, has a touch of genius and magic. When we face a situation fearlessly, it often disappears on its own. It's like the law of non-resistance, which not everyone understands. Fear attracts problems, but being fearless makes them vanish. This story reminds us that invisible forces are always at work in our lives, and we can unknowingly influence our circumstances. For instance, if we're scared of something, we tend to encounter it. But when we confront our fears, they often disappear, as if they were never there. The lesson is that our words carry immense power. If we keep talking about disease, lack, failure, or sickness, we tend to attract those things. We need to be careful with our words once we realize this truth. As the saying goes, people should only use their words to heal, bless, or prosper. What we say about others often comes back to us, and the good or bad wishes we send to others can affect us too. Essentially, curses or blessings come back to us. Our bodies can go through a remarkable transformation through the power of spoken words and clear vision. The key is to cleanse our subconscious mind, sometimes called the soul. In the game of life, the soul must be saved from negative thinking. This process involves filling our subconscious with positive ideas, creating a union between the subconscious and superconscious mind. When these two minds become one, we align with a realm of perfect ideas, gaining control over our mind, body, and life.